Imagine this. The UK's economy, once the world's largest, has shrunk by 9.9% in a single year. A statement that on its own would be enough to raise eyebrows and cause a stir. But let me assure you, this isn't just a dramatic opening line for our discussion, it's a stark and sobering fact. Now, what does this mean, you ask? Well, to put it bluntly, it signifies a drastic economic downturn. The once robust and thriving economy of the United Kingdom, a beacon of financial stability, is now grappling with a significant contraction, a decline that has sent shockwaves not only through the British Isles, but also across the global economic landscape. The magnitude of this shrinkage is more than just a number. It's a reflection of job losses, business closures, and overall financial insecurity. It's a sign that the economic foundations we've relied on for so long are shaking. This is not a hypothetical scenario, rather it's the unsettling reality we're facing right now. And as we delve deeper into this topic, we'll uncover the factors that led to this downturn, the impact it has had, and what the future might hold. So stay with us as we journey through this economic landscape, unpacking the facts and figures that have defined the current state of the UK's economy. You may be wondering, how did one of the strongest economies in the world end up here? To understand the current state of the UK's economy, we need to take a few steps back and look at several key factors that played crucial roles. First, let's talk about the elephant in the room: Brexit. The decision to leave the European Union was a game changer, and not in the way many had hoped. Brexit introduced a great deal of uncertainty, and uncertainty, my friends, is something markets do not take kindly to. Trade disruptions, altered relationships with neighboring countries, and the need to re-establish economic policies. All these have taken a toll on the UK's economy. Now let's add another layer to this complex situation: the COVID-19 pandemic. Just as the UK was trying to find its feet post-Brexit, the pandemic hit. It brought about unprecedented challenges, affecting every corner of the globe. For the UK, it meant a severe blow to already struggling sectors. The hospitality industry, retail and travel sectors, and many more faced a steep decline in demand and revenue. But the story doesn't end there. We also need to discuss the fiscal policies in place. When an economy is in turmoil, it's crucial for the government to step in and provide support. However, the steps taken by the UK government have been met with mixed reviews. Some argue that the fiscal stimulus was not enough, while others contend it was misdirected. This debate continues to play out, adding another layer of complexity to the UK's economic predicament. Moreover, we cannot overlook the country's debt situation. The UK's debt-to-GDP ratio has been on the rise for years, and the recent economic challenges have only exacerbated the issue. High levels of debt limit the government's ability to spend on recovery efforts and put additional pressure on the economy. Lastly, let's touch upon the factor of consumer confidence. It's a domino effect, really. When people are uncertain about the future, they hold back on spending. This further slows down the economy, leading to job losses and, in turn, causing even more reluctance to spend. It's a vicious cycle. So as we see, it's a mix of internal and external factors that have led to this economic crisis. But what does a shrinking economy really mean for the average UK citizen? In the grand scheme of things, you may think that the economy is an abstract concept, something that economists and politicians worry about while you go about your day-to-day life. But when the economy falters, it hits home in more ways than one. Consider the rising unemployment rates. With companies struggling to stay afloat, layoffs have become a grim reality. The job market has become fiercely competitive, with many qualified individuals vying for a limited number of opportunities. This isn't just a statistic on a page, it's a father, a mother, a recent graduate, all struggling to find work and provide for their families. Then there's inflation. The cost of living in the UK has been steadily rising, with prices for basic goods and services increasing. This means that your pound doesn't stretch as far as it used to. Imagine going to the supermarket and finding that your weekly grocery budget doesn't cover everything anymore. Or turning down the heat in winter because you're worried about the utility bill. Public services, too, feel the strain. With less money in the national coffers, funding for essential services like healthcare, education, and social care has been cut back. This means longer waiting times for medical procedures, larger class sizes in schools, and less support for the elderly and vulnerable. The impact extends beyond the tangible. The economic downturn has also taken a toll on the mental health of the nation. The uncertainty and stress of financial instability can lead to anxiety and depression. It's a vicious cycle, with financial worries leading to mental health issues, which in turn can make it harder to find and keep a job. But it's not all doom and gloom. Amidst the hardship, there are stories of resilience and adaptability. People are finding new ways to make ends meet, whether it's starting a side hustle, retraining for a new career, or simply cutting back and living more frugally. Communities are coming together to support each other, proving that in times of crisis, the human spirit shines through. In essence, the economic downturn has made life significantly harder for the average UK citizen. But it has also shown us that when faced with adversity, we can rise to the challenge and find ways to overcome it. But it's not just the UK feeling the pinch. The global economy is in a state of flux. Indeed, the UK's economic situation doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's a piece of a much larger, complex puzzle, the global economy. And this global economy, well, it's a bit like a web. When one strand vibrates, the whole web feels it. So when the UK economy trembles, it sends ripples out into the wider world and vice versa. Let's take a step back for a moment and consider the broader picture. The world is undergoing significant shifts. We're seeing emerging economies rise, traditional powerhouses falter, and technology disrupt the very nature of work. It's a time of uncertainty, of change, and yes, sometimes of economic difficulty. This global context matters because the UK doesn't operate in isolation. It's part of a network of international trade, investment, and cooperation. When the economies of its trading partners are struggling, the UK feels the impact. When foreign investment slows, it affects the UK's growth. Consider, for instance, the ongoing trade tensions between major world economies. These disputes create uncertainty, and uncertainty is like kryptonite for the economy. It makes businesses hesitant to invest, to hire, and to expand. And this hesitance, this caution, it trickles down, affecting everything from the job market to consumer spending. Or take the rise of emerging economies. Countries like China and India are becoming more influential on the global stage, shifting the balance of economic power. This changing landscape presents both opportunities and challenges for the UK. It opens up new markets for trade, sure, but it also introduces new competition. And then there's the technological revolution. Automation, artificial intelligence, the digital economy. These are transforming the way we work and live. They're creating new industries, new jobs, but also making others obsolete. And the UK, like all economies, is grappling with how to navigate this new era. All these global trends, they're influencing the UK's economy. They're shaping its opportunities, its challenges, and yes, its struggles. And so, when we talk about the UK's economic situation, we can't just look at what's happening within its borders. We need to look outwards to the wider world. Thus, the UK's economic struggle is part of a larger global economic upheaval. So, where do we go from here? Is there a light at the end of this economic tunnel? It's a question that echoes in the minds of many. While the economic downfall has been a tough pill to swallow, it's also important to remember that economies are cyclical. They rise and fall. And in the midst of the downturn, it's crucial to look towards the road ahead. The path to economic recovery is often paved with strategic government policies. For instance, the government has the power to stimulate the economy by increasing public spending. This could mean investing in infrastructure, education, and healthcare, which in turn creates jobs, boosts consumer spending, and fosters economic growth. But of course, it's not just about spending. It's also about creating an environment conducive to business growth. The government could implement policies that encourage innovation, entrepreneurship, and investment. This could involve reducing red tape, lowering taxes for small businesses, or providing financial incentives for research and development. While government policies play a vital role, they're not the only piece of the puzzle. Economic theories also provide valuable insights into the road ahead. The Keynesian theory, for instance, suggests that during a recession, the government should increase spending to stimulate demand and pull the economy out of the slump. On the other hand, the monetarist theory argues that controlling inflation and maintaining a steady money supply is key to economic stability. As we look towards the future, it's also crucial to consider expert opinions. Many economists believe that the UK's economy has the potential to bounce back. They argue that the fundamentals of the economy remain strong and that the UK has a history of resilience in the face of economic adversity. They point to the UK's diverse economy, its highly skilled workforce, and its world-leading sectors, such as finance and technology, as reasons for optimism. However, it's equally important to acknowledge that the road to recovery won't be easy. It will require strategic planning, tough decisions, and most importantly, time. It's a journey that will be marked by challenges and uncertainties. But with the right strategies in place, and with the resilience that characterizes the British spirit, there's every reason to be hopeful. While the road to recovery might be long and arduous, there's always hope for a brighter economic future. As we wrap up this discussion, let's revisit the key points we've covered. In the past 15 minutes, we've taken a deep dive into the current state of the UK's economy. We've unraveled the complexities and intricacies that have led to its downfall and have come to understand the factors that have contributed to it. We've explored the unsettling reality of the situation, shedding light on the economic downturn that the UK is currently experiencing. We've delved into the reasons behind this downfall, discussing the impacts of Brexit, trade disruptions, and the COVID-19 pandemic. We've considered the impact of this economic crisis not just on a national level, but also on a global scale. We've seen how it has affected businesses, individuals, and the global economy at large. We've also looked at the road ahead. While the situation may seem bleak, we've discussed potential solutions and strategies that could help the UK recover from this economic downturn. We've talked about the importance of economic reform, international trade relationships, and government policies aimed at stimulating growth. Finally, we've taken a global perspective, examining how the UK's economic crisis fits within the broader context of the global economy. We've considered the potential ripple effects of this crisis and have discussed its implications for other economies around the world. Throughout this discussion, we've underscored the importance of understanding the complexities of the economy and the need for informed decision-making. Whether you're an economist, a business leader, or an everyday citizen, understanding these issues is crucial in navigating the economic landscape and making informed decisions. As we ponder on these facts, one can't help but wonder, what does the future hold for the UK's economy?